Eileen Cleary's website opens with a quote from Czesław Miłosz. What is poetry which does not save nations or people? Nurse, poet, parent, student, graduate of both Lesley University's and Solstice of Pine Manor's MFA programs, Eileen transcends these titles and turns the word poetry from noun to verb through her work, her advocacy for and promotion of the work of others, and her unflinching passion for poetry and its witness of humanity. Eileen is the founder and editor of Lily Poetry Review and Lily Poetry Review Books. She co-edited the Voice Amidst the Virus anthology, which has been chosen for the 2021 Filmetry Festival at MSU, and 20 of the poems in that collection will be adapted to films. A two-time Pushcart Prize nominee, Eileen's first collection, Child Ward of the Commonwealth, was published by Main Street Rag in 2019, and her second collection, 2 a.m. with Keats, is forthcoming this spring by Nixus Mate. You can find Eileen online at eileenclearypoet.com.
My name is Eileen Cleary, and I'm so happy to be here to join in the wonderful new initiative of shared literary space, the Notebooks Collective. And today I'll be reading a poem, a love poem, by William Shakespeare, Sonnet 130, because it typifies the idea that we fall in love with the person rather than the ideal view of a person. And also, I will read a short poem that I wrote for a beloved friend who died 3 years ago. But first I'll read William Shakespeare's Sonnet 130 with great thanks to Rebecca Connors and Lisa Allen for opening this space and this opportunity to share poems about love and share space in our community. William Shakespeare's Sonnet 130. My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why, then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses damasked, red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks, and in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet I know that music has a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on ground. And yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare. And then, as I said, I'm going to read a poem called Calling You Back, and it was written for Lucy Brock-Broido, and it's about wanting someone who has been lost. It's been 3 years now since you took up your season of dying. Living's small ceremonies hallow like a flaxen girl christened. Person to person, spanning silver and clay, what to call us? Shall we be named one galaxy, our dust a phantom of stars? We reach, but cannot reach. Will you cross to where we might again embrace? You know I wish my body to be earth with your body. Not now, but in time, as indistinguishable as twin Glendalough sheep. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking about all of the love poems tonight. Bye-bye.
Good evening. My name is Becca Connors. I'm so happy to have you all here tonight. I am excited to introduce our next reader, Ellen Austin Lee, whose poetry is both delicate and fierce. She has been published in multiple journals, including Artemis, Thimble Literary Magazine, The New Verse News, Memoir Mixtapes, Greenbrier Review, Panoply, and Anti-Heroin Chic. Her first chapbook, Firefly, was published by Finishing Line Press in 2019, and her second chapbook, Lockdown: Scenes from Early in the Pandemic, is forthcoming in 2021. A recipient of the Martin B. Bernstein Poetry Fellowship, she is an MFA in Poetry candidate at the Solstice Low Residency program. Ellen lives in Cincinnati, Ohio, with her husband and 2 sons. Ellen is a community builder. She hosts a monthly poetry night at Sitwell's in Cincinnati and would regularly pull our poetry cohort together for a phone call so that we could convene during our semester. Additionally, she is kind, generous in her feedback, and someone that you want to share your work with. I am so grateful that she is here tonight to share her love poems and insight. Please help me welcome Ellen Austin Lee.
Hello, I'm Ellen Austin Lee, and I'm excited to participate in the Notebook Collective. Thank you, Becca Connors and Lisa Allen, for asking if I'd be interested. So I'm going to read a love poem by Ada Limon called The End of Poetry. Enough of osseous and chickadee and sunflower and snowshoes, maple and seeds, samara and shoot. Enough chiaroscuro, enough of thus and prophecy and the stoic farmer and faith and our Father and 'tis of thee. Enough of bosom and bud, skin and God, not forgetting and star bodies and frozen birds. Enough of the will to go on and not go on, or how a certain light does a certain thing. Enough of the kneeling and the rising and the looking inward and the looking up. Enough of the gun, the drama, and the acquaintance's suicide. The long lost letter on the dresser. Enough of the longing in the ego and the obliteration of ego. Enough of the mother and the child and the father and the child. And enough of the pointing to the world, weary and desperate. Enough of the brutal and the border. Enough of can you see me? Can you hear me? Enough I am human. Enough I am alone and I am desperate. Enough of the animal saving me. Enough of the high water. Enough sorrow. Enough of the air and its ease. I am asking you to touch me. So beautiful. Okay, and then I'm going to read a short poem that I wrote after I read the Grimm Brothers' Iron Hands fairy tale this past year, which I was not familiar with, and it sparked memories of my first love. So this is called To the Boy with the Golden Hair. I let you slip away, my prince. Your shine blinded me. I left the altar when the incense burned sharp with young pine. I pulled off cap after cap in the thicket of trees, embraced blonde after blonde, but none of them sang of Dylan or came close to your cascading gold. I know the woods where you still live. In dreams, I find you draped in green, waiting beside the well, just dipped hair dripping, hands of wildflowers. You don't change. Thank you.
Ashley Johnson holds an MFA in Creative Nonfiction from the Solstice MFA in Creative Writing program at Pine Manor College. Her essays have appeared in Sleet, Glassworks, and Iron City magazine, and her essay Sing was nominated for a Pushcart Prize earlier this year. When I graduated from Solstice, Ashley gifted me Carmen Maria Machado's memoir In the Dream House, a book Ashley then studied as she wrote a critical thesis about hybridity and the intersection of poetry and prose in lyric essay. In that book, Carmen Maria Machado quotes Louise Bourgeois. You pile up associations the way you pile up bricks. Memory itself is a form of architecture. In Ashley's memoir In Progress, memory is kaleidoscope and microscope, an examination of the residual effects of mass incarceration on the Black family structure. Ashley's mentor, Dr. Randall Horton, offers this. Ashley operates at the intersection of knowing and not knowing, weaving prosaic and poetic landscapes that inquire, reveal, and reflect on the human condition. Ashley digs, excavates, and then digs again, unafraid to use history, documentation, literature as catalysts to a new kind of understanding. Her prose is a song that sings, or she sings a song that needs to be sung.
Hi everyone, my name's Ashley. Thank you to Lisa and Becca for inviting me to be a part of the Notebooks Collective launch. I'm excited to be here and to share a love poem written by another poet, and then something that I've written as well. So the poem I'm going to share first is by Eve Ewing, and the name of the poem is Shea Butter Manifesto. We, the forgotten Delta people, the dry riverbed people, hair calling always for rain, skin turned skyward, wishing for clouds, we stand for blood. We kneel for water, for oil, we lay down, fingers spread as if in this way we might skate across the yellow clay of it all, like lagoon insects. So it is written, heal yourself, baby. With the tree and the touch, with the turmeric. In this world, nothing brittle prevails, so in this world, grease is a compliment. No, it's a weapon. No, it's a dream you had where it was cold and your mother seeing the threat of gray at your elbows and knowing that ash is the language of the dead, knelt and put her hands on your face like this and anointed you a protected child, a hot iron in a place of frost. Recall this and fear no thickness. Be resurrected, glistening in the story of you, be shining. All right, and I'm gonna read a piece that I wrote entitled Sing. It starts with an epigraph. When the lights shut off and it's my turn to settle down, my main concern, promise that you will sing about me. Kendrick Lamar. My dad wants me to sing about him. Before I do, he gives me instructions. He tells me to read. Check out Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow and Carter G. Woodson's The Miseducation of the Negro. We go to the Museum of African Americana. After I do my reading, he tells me a story. He never reaches the end. Saying about the prison industrial complex and the plight of marginalized Blacks. Don't forget the 100-to-1 cocaine to crack ratio and mandatory minimums. Sing of Black excellence. He thinks he's not a statistic of justice. I see flesh on a scale, marked chattel. He has never been known to sing, my dad. His condition of addiction was incurable. He played a solo elegy inside a cell, his vibrato intensified in the whole. From debut to platinum status, the ideas for his songs never change. Strip, squat, cough, survive in here. Run that back, survive, open wide. It's unacceptable to sing. Tongue up, pressed to the roof of your mouth, tongue down, tongue out. Put these on. Welcome home, you sleep here, stay in here. An inmate's refrain sounds like, figure out who you are, read. Keep your head down, but walk proud. Keep your head up, but stay humble. The sentence repeats. Another is added over and over, time and again, run that back. His soundtrack is distorted. Heat warped the vinyl grooves until whole parts went missing. I try to concentrate on echoes of crooked crooning. Holding parsed notes, I mumble through melody, revise words, rehearse sounds. I am ready to record his record for the record, but when I open my mouth, he stops me. Once more, he says. Repeat after me, he says. I was at Howard University, the Black Mecca, in the 80s. I am worthy. I'm the color of the brown paper bag. I passed the test. I've been to Howard Dental School. I had plans, a private practice. I know Black bourgeoisie and Black poverty. I hear him. I have heard him. I can recite it from memory. It goes, my daddy, a God-fearing, woman-loving, wanting for nothing, Black middle-class family having, countryside visiting, city living, suburban dwelling Black boy became an addict. For a long time, he frequented buildings with bars and places with rehabs in the name, but the buildings didn't make him better. An applause for my freestyle. My dad is pleased. I am not. My pitch is off. I've been singing the same song, the same riff, but there's something missing. The rhythm? Perhaps. Maybe it's me. It's my voice. Nah, his notes are wrong. He never finished telling me the story. I ask him for the melody. Just hum. Cut the words, just hum. Vibrations, pour some soul in it. Give me a reference track. I will get it together, and then I will sing. He gives me what I ask for, but it is more than one song. My dad's untitled magnum opus, unmastered. Intro. You were born. I was there. 18 months. Track 2, Prince George's County Correctional, 3 months. Interlude, Mountain Manor Treatment Center, 1 month. Track 3, Cecil County Detention Center, 6 months. Track 4, Lorton Correctional Complex, 4 months. Track 5, Eastern Correctional Institution, 27 months. Interlude 2, Second Genesis Rehab, 12 months. Track 6, Maryland Correctional TC, Hagerstown New Jail, 10 months. Interlude 3, New Life for Youth Rehab, 12 months. Track 7, Seven Locks Detention Center, 14 months. Interlude 4, Triangle Residential Options for Substance Abusers, 24 months. Track 8, District of Columbia Central Detention Facility, DC Jail, 2 months. Track 9, Federal City Treatment Facility, 2 months. Track 10, DC Jail Part 2, 4 months. Interlude 5, Langston Lane Halfway House, 2 months. Track 11, Clarksburg Detention Center, 2 weeks. Track 12, Jessup Pre-Release, 3 months. Track 13, Eastern Correctional Institution, Part 2, 34 months. Track 14, Southern Maryland Pre-Release, 12 months. Interlude 6, Maryland Reception Diagnostic, CC, 1 week. Track 15, Patuxent Institute, Return to Seven Locks, 1 week, 18 hours. Outro, The Hope House Treatment Center, 17 days. I study the track listing and check the timestamps. I'm 33 years old. I had a daddy for 4.5 years. That's 51 months. My dad spent 127 months in centers, facilities, and complexes for correction and detention. Detained for 127 months, nothing was corrected. Our bids together were not consecutive or concurrent. My location was a pit stop on his road tour from this jail to that prison and some rehab. I waited on him doing time. I want to sing it right. I prayed to God on my hands and knees like Grandma showed me, but prayers are not wishes and God is not a genie. I think I liked him more when he was locked up than when he huffed and puffed crack. He made the clearest sounds when he was clean, at home, not running. Every relapse and scrape happened when he was outside of a container. I feared for him when he was free. I feared for him when he was incarcerated. The worrying turned me into a parent long before I birthed my first son. Though I am too old for parenting now, I am never too old for his advice. For a long time, we've been in the round, taking turns, trading tracks. When our metronomes click-clack in unison, when we're synced up, we chop it up. I refuse to pen lyrics until our time aligns. These songs already exist, have existed, will continue to exist. There are many covers and renditions. For my dad's version, I know the notes, and I can sing. I can revise, try a different pitch, go an octave higher. My dad just can't add no more tracks. Thank you.